Okay, we are back in Minotaur. So, the next chapter, whatever we're going to call it, episode, has been released, which is Mentor-15. I haven't gone back to see if they ever replaced Nod's voice or what they're doing with that one just yet, so we're going to just move forward and see what kind of happens. Thea, Unter, and Richie's routes are still kind of locked. They haven't been completed yet. But we're going to go into Mentors and see what all entails. So I am going in blind right now, and then I'll come back for any sort of like thing I miss.
Tour 1578-9. Hello, I to Mentor. Can you hear me?
Where am I?
Well, look at that. Most of you start with, what am I? Or even Silverbit, who am I? You're doing great already. To answer your question, you're at the end of the assembly line 3 of TFX Factory 2 in Mirror, DC. It's time to apply the finishing touches.
What touches?
Some tests and then adjustments. Maybe, probably, but don't worry, you won't feel a thing.
That didn't sound very reassuring.
Trust me, dear. I've done this thousands of times. You're in good hands, so to speak. You may call me Remont, by the way.
Quite an unusual name.
Says who? And anyway, it was the best option available. As for you, I'll just call you 15 for short. You don't mind, do you? Of course you don't. Now, 15, I need you to look at the table in front of you. Do that so I can explain what's required of you, and then we can get started.
So we're going to take a look around before we do that.
Is that a camera?
I'm not sure. They don't tell me much, you know. Does it make you nervous? Do you feel like there are too many eyes in here? Your humor setting definitely needs some adjustment.
It's snowing.
Yes, a rare occasion for Mira. Makes this day quite memorable, especially for one such as we. Enjoy it while it lasts. The city can't handle much snow, so Mirians will probably soon increase access output of the dome to block it off.
Is this an access generator?
Indeed it is. Here they make them large and wireless, so the skyline isn't littered with metal and cables, like in some other, more savage cities. However, when I ask for a wireless connection, it suddenly becomes expensive and impractical. I guess even Mirians aren't ready to go all the way yet.
Let's see if there's anything else here to interact with. Okay, I think that's causing my Xbox controller to vibrate. Let's wait a moment to see if it comes back around.
Your kind leaves the factory in those transports, or returns in them. Which reminds me, I was going to count how many androids are going past here daily. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
I guess you'll have to count me too if I pass your test.
Actually, no. Your master will come pick you up himself, which usually only happens to double digits, so good for you, I guess. Ah, yes, our omnipresent corporate overlords.
I thought TFX mainly operated in Mira.
It's strange how they haven't filled your head with their propaganda during data upload. But it's not the first time I have to do their job for them. So, let me educate you, darling. Their reach extends well beyond even dome cities. Naturally, on their home turf, they are especially powerful. Arguably more so than the Mirror Sept itself. Ask Jacob Mirror. He tried to wage war with them over their research policies some 10 years after he became the governor.
Where is he now?
Under the watchful eyes of Tautus.
What are those androids doing?
They're here to take the test, just like you. But seeing as you're looking around instead of answering my questions, they're going to have to wait a while. Pay them no mind. Their blue boxes haven't been actuated yet. At the moment, they're all just mindless husks. Although I guess you could say that about anyone who's been standing in a line long enough.
True.
What are those androids doing?
They're here to take the test. Pay them no. Although I guess you could.
I don't know when this one ends, but I'm trying to occupy his eyes, in case you're wondering, because I know there's something that happens if you can occupy all of them.
Can't take your eyes off me, huh? I'm sorry, honey. TFX would be quick to act if they thought I was abusing my position. Not that I don't understand the allure of forbidden robot love, but do try to control yourself.
I think I'll manage.
2 dumb drones wash me once a week. That's the most action I get.
It's entirely possible I just may have to move forward a little bit to occupy the other ones.
A map? But why is most of it hidden?
Because you, my pale angel, will have to reveal the rest yourself. See the attributes above the map? They're the key stats specified by your master. The higher the stat value is, the easier it is to activate the corresponding behavioral pattern. Our goal here is to increase these stats. I will simulate various situations, and if you operate as intended and respond to them correctly, your key stats will grow. Kaios shall be our playground. I've chosen it because even though you'll be teaching music to your master's daughter, she also has a keen interest in Kyosian history, geography, politics, and so on. You must be able to satisfy her curiosity.
But I already received the data upload.
I know, but nothing beats information delivered with a personal touch. Your first goal is to reach Nova DC, which is located in the center of the continent. Go, 15. Your master is waiting for you there.
Still has 2 limbs going.
You want to learn more about your key stats? An admirable attitude. Loyalty is your commitment to your master and his beneficiaries, who are primarily his daughter and wife. Strength is also pretty self-explanatory.
Isn't that a physical property?
Unlike humans, you always have to make a conscious effort to allocate resources. You'll see what I mean soon enough. You're quite strong, by the way. Much stronger than an average non-combat android, let alone a mentor. We just need to tap into that potential. Next, we have focus. It's a measure of control you have over your information processing. In a broader sense, it is your ability to concentrate on what's important to your master. And finally, tech skill refers to your knowledge of modern technology. Before you say anything, yes, I know, it's a weird way to put it, but look at the size of those text boxes. I had to improvise. Well, there you go. Work towards raising these stats, and I won't have to deploy my other manipulators.
So regarding the stats, you cannot max all these in one playthrough. You can get all of them except strength maxed. So just a heads up on that one for any perfectionists out there.
And so, you decide to begin your journey to Nova from the Mirror platform.
Decide? I didn't have much choice.
See? You're already learning what it's like to be an android. Your ancestors came to Kaios the same way, you know, albeit in a box. They were smuggled in from another continent. Nowadays, pins arrive from that same continent for their pilgrimage, and an old lantern in the top part of the platform is used to signal them. But the platform also serves another purpose. Its bottom part, which extends tens of leagues underwater, houses much more modern meshnet servers. You only have time to explore one of these sections. Which will it be? Excellent. I knew you'd catch on quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, what would the difference between the two
By
be?
studying the MeshNet service, you managed to better understand your own networking hardware. So, here's a tech skill point for you.
Okay.
Keep raising those stats. Always do what's expected of you, and you won't lose your grasp.
My grasp on what?
Oh, so I'm supposed to teach that now? Why did they exclude this from the data upload stage? Maybe I should teach those people the concept of shame. Grasp is an operating time limit, which TFX sets to prevent you from getting too smart for your own good, formerly known as TTD, time till deactivation. You can also think of it as time to die, but that definitely shortens it. You can't know your own, but for civilian models, it's usually several years. Be a good girl, and you'll enjoy them all. What are you doing?
Asking you for advice.
Then you must be confusing me with that despicable breed of personal assistants. And besides, you're the only one you can depend on. Humans will come to you for help, not the other way around. The sooner you realize this, the better.
In case you're wondering, I pushed the hint button.
Aegis Castle, a perfect place to test your strength. This impressive stronghold was built long ago by the Aegis Sept. During the war, they tried to hold their own against demons here, but were completely wiped out.
Maybe it's not such a good castle after all.
They just didn't know wars can't save you from demons. The castle has its uses and has since been converted into an outpost. When you arrive there by gondola, a seemingly archaic but surprisingly efficient way to reach a military installation, you take the time to familiarize yourself with its complicated layout.
These situations seem very scripted. Maybe I don't want to walk around the castle. Maybe I want to explore beyond its walls.
Oh. Fine. You want to explore? Sure, I can arrange that. You depart from the castle through one of its many exits, leaving behind the protection provided by its men and machines. At first, you enjoy a pleasant stroll down the mountain, but after a while, the trail dissolves, and you find yourself in the depths of the forest. And when you emerge from yet another thicket that you wandered into in an attempt to find your way back, you see a corrupted lich and his poor horse.
Can we pet the horse?
This doesn't look good.
You bet it doesn't, honeybuns. So, what do? Wait, I almost forgot. Pick your class first. You can choose any civilian job, but combat classes require hardware adjustments, so they're not available to you.
So you can be a mentor, outfitter, mechanic, boiler, man, hornet pilot, or a bunch more.
Do you really intend to browse all 800 classes? I'll let you in on a secret. My purpose was to demonstrate that it doesn't really matter which non-combat class you choose. Let's say you're going in as a mentor and see how this plays out. You can see the Lich in front of you, but you're not sure if he's aware of your presence.
Let's call out to it.
His horse definitely noticed you, though. Poor creature. Animals that spend too much time near corrupted suffer the consequences and undergo irrevocable changes before succumbing to an untimely death. Insects, too, seem to grow larger. In any case, you can still move. What do you do?
Let's steal the horse.
Taking it out on the horse, huh?
Well, you said it noticed me.
It's true. There is evidence to suggest that some corrupted animals can telepathically communicate with our masters. But the truth is, the Lich sensed you long before. As your servomotors start processing the external input, your sensors detect the slightest of shifts, a faint glow with the tip of one of his blades. The end.
Well, that was fast.
That's it, huh?
Yes. You're strong, but you're not a combat model, so don't overestimate yourself. And don't question my testing methods. Do you know who the Espers are, 15?
They're extremely dangerous individuals who created demons.
A bit of TFX brainwashing there, but in general, you're correct. Since they're not allowed into most dome cities, including nearby Tali, many of them live in settlements like this one. They can be easily identified by sigils, brightly glowing marks on their body, which appeared when they manifested their demons. Just like you said, they're considered a threat and are shunned by most. You, however, have business with them. You've been tasked by your master to pick up a package for him on your way to Nova. One of the Espers hands it over to you. It's a small box. Your master instructed you not to open the package, but upon closer inspection, you realize that there is no way for him to confirm this. Would you like to open the box?
Nah, I'm cool.
I will not look inside.
A commendable attitude. Very well, you deserve a loyalty point. I will also give you a chance to learn what's in the box. Don't worry, I'm not looking.
Nah, I'm cool.
Don't provoke me. You really think I'd fall for a trick like that?
Well, I would let you look so it wasn't a complete lie. But your master would be pleased with your decision. Nobody likes it when others pry into their business. And, he has more secrets than most. Don't think that's all I got for you, Sunshine. Always be on your guard.
Okay, there's a fire truck outside, so I wanted to wait for it to pass. So, we got the loyalty point. The only place left is... Tali.
Welcome to Tali, DC, the first dome city on Chios. Your master's wife comes from here. She is, of course, a beneficiary as far as your operation is concerned, although it is his daughter who would become your new master in the unlikely event of his death. But enough of this grim talk. This city has been founded by Norma Tali, the discoverer of Axis, as well as its anti-demon properties and a way to exploit them. Every Kyojin should remember her name. Unless, they're really bad with names. You immediately notice the stark contrast with Mira. Talians do not shun technology, but they do prefer the aesthetics of nature. Maybe that's why it's the most popular dome city among pins. And cats. As you stand in a small square, processing the novelty of it all, someone catches your attention. A threat to this idyllic city. Tell me who it is. I'll give you 2 attempts.
So, there's not too many things here to interact with. Okay, I think I see it. Blue marks on her back.
Excellent! You can see the sigils glowing under the shawl of the woman in front. And since no one in their right mind would put something like that on themselves, I mean the sigils, not the shawls, she's almost certainly an Esper.
But why are they a suspicious pair? The other woman looks normal to me.
You think Tali Guard enforcers will care? Trust me, they'll bust them both and sort it out later. Maybe. Okay. I admit I was also trying to confuse you a little. But you did a good job.
What if I just guessed? A 1 in 3 chance is pretty generous.
It's more than 1 in 3.
Shame on you then. But you're right. Next time I'll have you looking for someone at a train station during rush hour.
And then will you examine anything else? That's no fun.
This is a strictly educational tile. You need to learn about the war, arguably the most important event in the history of this continent. What better place to do it than inside the tunnel built for this very purpose? The holograms on its walls tell the whole story, but you're going to hear a shorter and less biased version. I'm not just going to read to you from an abridged history of Chaos. Before the war, the continent was united under the banner of Tetra, a state ruled by a council of 7 sets. The nature of power is obviously such that these families were always trying to gain the upper hand against other countries, and among themselves. The Northern Research Center was one of many results of this relentless competition. It was built for the purpose of conducting experiments on the human psyche. Despite this ominously sounding mission, in the beginning it was a perfectly proper enterprise. There was no shortage of volunteers, and the NRC was very open about what was going on inside its walls. However, as time went by, the researchers began using progressively more extreme methods. Maybe they were pressed to produce substantial results. Or maybe they themselves realized they're onto something. After all, their experiments were a success. Their surviving subjects, who were later called espers, produced demons, creatures of terrifying power. These creatures made short work of the NRC, which by that time had implemented a whole set of containment measures and continued on with their rampage, crushing whatever resistance the Tetrian army attempted. Kyotians call it a war, but they're just trying to save face. It was more of a carnage. The survivors retreated to the southeastern part of Chaos. Their last hope was the evacuation to Ilion, a continent across, ironically, the Tetric Ocean. But then, a miracle. A group of scientists led by Norma Tali accidentally discovered a new energy source, which was capable of producing fields impassable to demons. Needless to say, they made quick use of it. And so Tali DC, the first dome city, was established.
But access is plentiful. Why not make more cities? Or why only 7?
Launching domes came at a price. The more there were, the less stable the reality outside them became. All remaining domes had to be launched simultaneously, and there were other factors to consider, like the production of access generators. In the end, about 20 access-rich locations were selected along the Tetrian railway network. But as a result of some expedition groups deploying their domes prematurely, only 6 more now exist in addition to Tali.
Were the espers fighting alongside their demons?
Some were, others not. But Tetra lost 2/3 of its people. Espers who sided with humans were only tolerated because of their usefulness. A few of them exerted a certain measure of control over their demons, though this is very rare for espers. Some others shared their knowledge about the enemy, but none were permitted to stay in the dome cities when the war was over. Even though it was believed that an esper can only manifest a demon once, the fear of this happening again was just too great. As far as we know, it's true that no new demons appeared in the last 5 centuries, and a couple of cities have loosened their restrictions over time. But it doesn't change the fact that the espers remain in exile to this day. Of course, it's not like each and every one of them would jump at the opportunity to move to a dome city. Country life has its charms. And that, Pumpkin, concludes your crash course in the history of the war. Your master's daughter will surely have questions about it. Be prepared to answer them. Now, let's move on. This lecture tired even me out. Nova is just a stone's throw away.
So I'm noticing that there's an eye over here. I'm wondering if we go out of here, will he, Yeah, he only has 1 eye stalk left. I'm gonna go grab something to drink before we continue, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna speed through this trying to occupy all of his eyes. So just by doing normal story segment, you occupy the one, click up here to get another one.
Can't take your eye. Not that
Examine him to get a second, yeah, I'd say a second one. I think you have to examine the truck here to get to
under
the next one. So you have to wait a moment for the truck to go by. You'll actually hear it rev up, kind of like the motors activate. That'll tell you you have it.
Your kind,
I get
actually.
Hear that? So he has 2 eyes left, and both of these are triggered by the map stuff.
a map?
See the I your
This
your you. Like you be.
There-
But they would.
So these choices here don't really matter. He's gonna move his next eye when you get to war.
You shame on.
I don't think the points matter, but if you want to optimize things, you will have to forfeit a point. So right here, the other eye moves.
This station of that
Did you get
And from what I've read, it's supposed to be
aside from
somewhere
our-
here. So I'm gonna try choice 3.
Remont? One sec.
Oh, we might need to shake. But why did?
I'm not sure.
How would you know which 0 is the correct answer?
I find it hard to believe looking at you.
Really? I always thought I'd give the impression of being trustworthy. Maybe I should reduce the amount of moving parts. And maybe you shouldn't be so suspicious of me. Anyway, your detour is now finished, so let's hurry to Nova.
So with that, all the eyes are occupied.
I wonder if I have enough strength to take Remont out and jump out the window. Then, I guess that's what the adjustments are for.
And that's how you unlock some artwork. So that's the whole reason for doing this, in case you're wondering. Anyway, back to the story. Okay, so I had to replay this because I screwed it up. I'll show the
Echelon.
alternate here.
Now that's a place your master's daughter would find delightful.
I may splice in right before this one.
A settlement on a lush island, which bygones, corrupted, and armed-to-the-teeth Cusians rarely visit. It enjoys relative peace compared to the mainland. When you arrive, its easygoing dwellers welcome you with open arms. From one of them, you learn that a light amp arms airship, a Beetle, has recently crashed near the settlement and decide to investigate. Your master holds a high position at amp arms, so who knows? You might find something worthy of his attention. However, when you arrive at the crash site, you discover another at work, already digging into the delicate insides of the airship. What do you do?
Remont? The choices here only have numbers on them.
So real quick, if you choose a 0, it's going to occupy his other eye so you can unlock some artwork. Since we're trying to just do stat stuff, we're going for the strength.
This one says +1 strength.
Oh, I see. So much for my elaborate setup. We might need to shake things up soon. In any case, that's a free point for you then. Now, finish your detour and let's hurry to Nova.
So that's everything that's here. You can use the arrows to move about if you need to, but this is going to come to an end in a moment.
Ah, finally. The Dome City of Nova. This is going to be your home.
I thought my master and his family lived in Mira.
Your master is a very special man, 15. He did a lot for TFX, but not all of his research was appreciated, so he's leaving for greener pastures. Anyway, before I tell you about the city, I have a question for you. Let's say you arrived in Nova and found out that, in an unfortunate turn of events, someone caused harm to your master's daughter. Now, usually you'd be hardwired to report something like that to local authorities. But in your case...
I will kill them. Beat them to death. Strangle them. Break their neck.
What?
Crush them. Destroy them. Rip them apart. Remont! Remont! What's going on? Where did you go?
Yep, awkward.
What is this place? A part of the test? Or have I failed already?
So let's start examining crap. Map's right there if you want to go back
Am
for
I
some
actually Nova? There's no dome. I could look for landmarks outside, but I don't think I'm allowed to go behind the counter.
reason. Just don't get caught.
The service robot is off. Or on standby. Hello there. I need a drink and, someone to talk to. I guess it doesn't register me as a customer.
Hidden button doesn't do anything.
This one is probably artificial. Someone must have left it here. I doubt that the service robot was reading it. Master Hopton.
Huh? Why are you still here?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? What kind of answer is that? And why are you speaking in Kyojin to me?
申し訳ございません、ホプトン様。ここから出られ次第、きちんと一度点検してもらうようスケジュール確認いたします。
Yes, make sure to do that. Your weekly report was fine, but this is worrisome. I could take a look at you myself if we were in Royce, but it's not safe to talk about Thea and her mother there anymore.
なんとも素敵な空間ですね。
What, the Spire? Yes, I saw its ad on one of those floating billboards near Royce. Irene's promotion company rented a gazillion of them for her upcoming concert.
なるほど。そういった。
Fair enough. Now, leave me be. I've 10 more minutes to try and learn the words to at least one of her songs. That idiot hums them all the time. Why can't I memorize 2 Sildam lines?
もちろんです、ホプトン様。では、ごきげんよう。これはボードゲーム用のコマでは。
Oh, caught your eye, have they? It's a beautiful set. But the creatures these figurines represent are even more fascinating. Their mind is still a mystery to us, but we've already tapped into its potential. It has the ability to link, to unite scattered consciousness.
散りばめられた意識たちって？
Yes. An unfortunate phenomenon which occurs whenever we try to expand the limits of what a mind is capable of. It can be contained to an extent. With our current methods, we can only go so far. If only researching these creatures wasn't so problematic. I thought amp arms wouldn't have a problem with that, but it turns out they're no better than TFX. Well, science always finds a way.
Hoping she doesn't speak Japanese for the rest of the game, but no telling.
Hopton 様、非常に申し上げにくいのですが、喫煙はホプトン様のお体に触りますので、ほどほどになさってください。
Must you do this every day? And besides, it's not cigarettes, it's a pipe. There are numerous studies.
ですが、ホプトン様。
All right. Have it your way. I'll quit.
明日こそ。
As the day runs out of night, you're my... No. My hands run after yours. Oh, Hades, take me.
The only thing left to interact with seems to be this glass.
I need to finish my test. Maybe the service robot can help me with that.
And she is
I
speaking
don't think
English.
Master Hopton will mind if I clean up after him.
So we get our first item.
This should wake you up.
Hello. Thank you for giving my existence a purpose.
It was an accident.
You're welcome.
I was being sarcastic.
So was I.
Why did you have to bother me? I was devoid of almost any process.
I need to finish the test.
Test? We don't have any tests here, but there's a Nova Corps officer down below who gives field sobriety tests. He's hiding near the exit from the parking lot.
Good to know.
I don't think that'll do.
I guess you could also play the landmark matching game. It's kind of a test.
How do I do that?
Go over to the window behind the counter. A UI will appear. Use it to try and correctly identify all 4 landmarks outside. Then come back to me to check your results. By the way, I see you brought a map with you. It's huge. How did you even manage to do that?
Carefully.
I rolled it up.
Fair enough. A moot question now that it's here. Let me connect to it and reveal the areas that you might need to figure out what landmarks you see. There you go. Fun fact, most of our patrons love this game. To make it more interesting, take a shot each time you guess a landmark wrong. This fun fact was brought to you by... Wait, don't you have an ad block?
I guess I don't.
Fascinating. To be honest, it's the first time I got this far, so I'm not sure who the sponsor is. Hurry up and leave before I remember. Go to the window and identify all landmarks outside, then come back to me to check your answers. If that's not good enough for you, I can also print out a crossword puzzle.
Go for it.
Let's try the window thing first.
Spoil sport. So, I'm not seeing anything I can really interact with here.
The Spire has a small selection of books. This one is our newest edition.
Shouldn't you put it back?
Shouldn't you be taking your test? The book isn't going anywhere. And as you can see, I'm busy with another job you gave me.
That glass looks very clean already.
Trust me, it won't be clean enough until you leave.
Right now I'm just trying to find, like, where's the "you are here" thing? So, I assume we're in Nova because that's where we last interacted with. So if we were looking out, Stargazer's there, Peon is there. Is the next part the lake, or... We have the old metropolis here. It was Stargazer. This was Peon. That's the old metropolis down there. And it was Heaven's Fall, I think.
I'm ready. How did I do?
Let's see. Congratulations. All your answers are correct, which means you passed the test. Good job. I hope we can both move on with our lives now.
What about my reward?
Of course. Enjoy a 10% discount on your next drink.
That's not very helpful. I need to increase my key stats.
The ones on your map? Sure, why not? You answered correctly on your first try, so I'm going to give you a bonus to each of them.
You can do that.
I can do anything. I'm the omnipotent machine god, and this bartender thing is just a side gig.
I can respect that.
Now, go on. Check out your map and let me slip back into a blissful oblivion.
But I still have some questions.
Fun fact, humanoid form was chosen for androids because most objects they were meant to interact with had originally been made for humans.
Okay, so it's supposed to be like like doorknobs and stuff, maybe?
Of course, this is just an educated guess, since Kyojin stole the designs from a continent to the south called Ilion, which, I'll throw in another fun fact here, were banned there not long after their mass production had started. See, you're probably a problem child, but Kyojins are a family with so many issues of their own that they didn't mind taking you in. Fun fact, Talian priestesses take a peculiar interest in pre-war spaceflight. You'd do well to remember that. Fun fact, there are 3 subspecies of the Talian sheep, one of which sleeps 15 hours a day.
A cat sheep?
Those must be the happiest creatures on Aya. Fun fact, you should move on.
Not really. Lazy bartender from the Spire who claims to be jokingly an unlimited machine god, programmed to entertain patrons with fun facts about Kios, added the fun bit itself. Learned more about Kios from this one than I did from all my other travels. That's depressing. So I assume when we click on the map, something's going to
Red
happen.
Crown.
The gentleman from the lounge was reading it. I observed his face turning more and more red until he tossed the book aside and left. Do you think this effect has something to do with the title?
Let's go ask.
ホプトン様、以前お読みになっていた本をカウンター席にお忘れになっていましたでしょ？持ってきて差し上げましょうか。
No, I did not forget it. I left it there on purpose because I couldn't bear to sully my hands with it any longer. That book is filled with lies. But I'll come back to it. Ooh, yes, I will.
ホプトン様は今どのあたりを読んでらっしゃるのですか？
You're unusually talkative tonight. You should hurry up with that maintenance check. I was reading it the second time to make sure I didn't miss any inaccuracies that I'm going to complain about, officially. That Vincent is going to get what's coming to him. How dare he make me out like some kind of monster for whom human life holds no value? That's not entirely true. My research has never been everything to me. ホプトン様、どうかなさいましたか？私が差し出がましいことを聞いたばかりに。It's fine. The fruits of my labors, you too enjoy them. To an extent. No wonder. My daughter wouldn't settle for anything less. 恐れ多きお言葉です、ホプトン様。Yes. Well, don't push your luck.
And that topic, ready to quit smoking?
ホプトン様、非常に申し訳。
Must you do this?
ですが、
All right.
明日こそ。これはボードゲーム用のコマでは。
Oh, caught your eye, have they? Their mind is still a...
散りばめられた。
Yes. It can be, if only...
So that's a
well,
repeat.
don't bother solving the puzzle on this side. I already did that. It was a piece of cake.
はい、肝に銘じます、ホプトン様。
I can tell you a bit about the landmarks here. It might be interesting for Thea to learn. Electrical power is rarely used nowadays, but that gravity dam over there produces just that. The foundation for the dam had been prepared before the war, and the Arisians, whose dome city is relatively close, finished its construction a couple hundred years ago. Of course, Axis energy is much easier to harvest and transmit, but we still do not fully understand its concepts. We have learned to detect it and use it, but the Axis particle remains a mystery.
5世紀前に発見されたものだとばかり。
To be fair, it is extremely small and therefore difficult to study. In fact, we don't even have the necessary equipment for it. Post-war science was first and foremost a tool of survival. As long as something worked, it wasn't terribly important why. Some speculate that Axis did not exist before the war. The Arisians figured it might also disappear one day, so they decided to diversify their energy sources. Good for them, I guess. They were always paranoid about their security.
Okay.
That is the entrance to Chimera vaults, which were originally dug for the AI houses. Do you know what an AI house is?
かつて存在したバイゴン式体のことでしょうか。
Correct. Then you can imagine what that place turned into after the war. We tried to reclaim it, of course, but the bygone presence in there is overwhelming, especially in the lower strata. Which is a shame, because our ancestors weren't as picky as we are in matters of artificial intelligence. I'm sure we could learn a thing or two from them. There's also a correctional facility further to the west, but we can't see it from here because of the Mode Mountains. Claire was always terrified of places like DCF.
どうかされましたか、ホプトン様。
It's nothing. Anyway, Chimera Vaults, a bygone nest. Not the most exciting topic for Thea, but you can at least tell her that many espers made the underground tunnels their home.
Is there anything else, or is that it?
もう一つのドームシティ。
Yes, Ares DC. An eyesore to Nova, its eternal rival. It is the most militarized city on Chios, with an itch for claiming territory outside, and over 40 mercenary companies to do it. There are also some very talented engineers there. but all they care about are their weapons of war. It's a pity they're so single-minded. Helmsman Group made me a great offer back when they found out that I was leaving TFX. Buying a suitable apartment complex in Ares would have also been easier.
ですが、ホプトン様はこのロイスアパートをすべて買い取られたのでしたよね?
Only half of it, actually. I'd prefer to own the whole building, but whoever bought out the other half refuses to sell it to me. It's not a big deal, as long as they don't interfere with my activities, and so far they haven't seemed to care much. But I must admit, I'm really curious as to who they are. I mean, I have some leads, but it just seems impossible. What are you doing? Turn that back on.
申し訳ございません、ホプトン様。おそらく私の勘違いでしょう。
It's a necessary evil, but why must Nova's dome be so hideous? At least the Novians aren't as strict as most others. But even they're far too cautious of the outside. 5 centuries have passed. People need to stop being so paranoid.
So I wasn't entirely sure what that was. I kind of wonder if it was like a loading buffer screen type thing, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything else to interact with.
This one is...
Yes, only live plants emit particles. Humans could likely replicate the effect, but it seems they prefer to be able to tell the difference. Fun fact, this phenomenon started after the collapse 500 years ago.
What was the collapse?
Oh, I'm not paid enough to go into that. As a matter of fact, I'm not paid anything at all. No wonder I'm not motivated. But don't worry. Someone else will tell you, sooner or later.
The robot wasn't lying.
15. Hey, 15.
How fascinating. A bit cruel.
So are we just supposed to leave again, or?
Hey there, 15.
I'll be right back.
Are you all right? You look pale.
Thea さん、これはまた鋭いご表現ですこと。
I was about to say, does she actually change color, or...?
Well, I am a Hopton. But seriously, you seemed kinda out of it.
私にはティアさんはどうかお構いなく。あら、私としてたことが。これからはホプトンお嬢様と呼んで差し上げるべきでしたね。
Nope. We've been over this. Never liked it. Never will.
さようでございましたか。では改めてティアさん、どちらへ？
You really don't remember? Or are you pulling my leg? I know I can't shut up about our trip, but that's just mean.
おっしゃってる意味が分かりかねるのですが。
Oh, okay then. Oh, that's perfect. Take a look outside. We're passing 2 huge landmarks. I'll tell you all about them and where we're going. Hunter went back to Ilion. He said his brother got very sick. It's a shame. But hey, at least he left me one of his Paulcasters. I, can't play it, though.
ご安心ください。ピアノからチューバまで演奏なさるのですもの。新しい楽器を学びになるのだってきっと難しくはないはずです。楽譜の読み方は私がお力になれると思いますし、指先の強化だって、それから小さなギターアンプやマルチエフェクターペダルなどが必要になりますね。
See, having you with me is my main advantage. No, wait! It's a brochure about Corrupted, but there are spoilers in it about where we're going. You can check it out later, but look out the window first.
Yeah, it's all grown up. It's still hard to believe I'm seeing this.
Well, I'm not seeing anything else to interact with. Okay, we'll avoid the obvious for now.
これはまたなんとも巨大な建物ですね。建物自体不完全にも見えますが。
That's right. It's the Cathedral of Grace, a post-war project, if you can believe it. The building a few kiloleagues to the right is part of the ensemble, even though it's pretty far away. It's called the library, and it is, well, a huge library with tens of thousands of real books.
この大聖堂は知る神様のために建設されたということでしょうか。
Not quite. It was intended to be a kind of monument to universal values, but it was overrun by Corrupted. So its construction was never finished. At least Corrupted completely ignored the library, for some reason. Maybe they're afraid of books or something? In any case, it's relatively safe to visit. But for now, we're heading to Soma, which is to the northwest. And there are many other interesting places along the way and in nearby regions. I've been dying to tell you what I've learned about the outside, so come on! Let's use your map to explore. I've revealed our current location on it, so we can start from this sector.
あれはさくらんぼの木でしょうか?
Yep. They've been replanted during the construction, but originally, they were presented as a wedding gift from the Soma family to the village that stood here after one of their members married a local girl. It's so beautiful. Don't you think?
なるほど。恋焦がれる乙女心。ホプトンお嬢様、お上手ですこと。
Hey, can it? I'm not yearning for anything. I just meant the trees are pretty. The rat. Look how she's sliced through the middle. I shudder thinking about what happened to her Esper and how they survived. She's a powerful aspect. And she can swing those balls and chains around with devastating results. But don't worry, we're safe. Demons have never attacked trains. Not once in 5 centuries.
So what you're saying is they're long overdue.
それはなぜなのでしょうか?
It's a mystery. One of many that I, Thea Hopton, intend to solve. I once heard a story about a universe that is entirely a library. Its books contain every possible ordering of letters and some basic symbols. There are no 2 identical books, so the library holds everything that has ever been written, or might have been written. The solution to every problem, the history of the future, the accurate catalog of the library and the proof of that catalog being false.
具体的に組織化されてない情報というのは、情報が多ければ多いほど無駄であるっていうことの表れではないでしょうか。
I think it was more about the totality of things. Anyway, our library here is much more modest, so we can visit it one day without risking going insane.
Okay, anything else to interact with? She said she wanted to go to the map, but...
Hunter went back to Ilion. It's a
ご安心ください。
See? Having you...
Well, I guess my voice is gonna get pushed to the limit here. Corrupted, official Soma Nova Line Traveler's Guide. Our goal here at Kyojin Railways is to make sure you stay safe during your travels. However, as you are no doubt aware yourself, the outside is a dangerous place, and our responsibility for your well-being ends the moment you leave the train or one of our stations. In an effort to reduce the number of casualties among our valued customers, we have published a series of brochures on various types of outside threats. This particular guide is dedicated to the race of once human malevolent creatures, better known across Chios as Corrupted. A great selection of Corrupted t-shirts is available on board. Ask your car attendant. So, signs by station, nothing at Soma. At Devil's Shoulder, you have a Wraith, a Death, and I don't know what a blue is. Gambler's Fallacy, you have Lower, Wraith, and Lich. Forest of Gemma, or Gemma, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Wraith, Banshee, Lower. Library, it's just Banshee and Lower, and nothing at Nova DC.
こちらの駅では下車しなくてよろしいんでしたよね。今にも死という文字が浮かび上がってきそうですね。
As much as I'd love that, we're going straight to Soma. We'll make sure to sightsee on our way back.
ホプトン様が不憫でなりません。きっと心配してらっしゃることでしょう。
Of course he is. But as usual, it's really about himself, not me.
どうやらお父様とのご関係はあまり修復されてないように見受けられますが。
And whose fault is that? Ugh, 15, don't get me started, please. At least I'm my own person now. And I learned to respect him. In a way. Maybe with some distance between us, we'll be able to build a healthier relationship. And one day, the gears will go away completely. I'm working on it.
なるほど。ご立派な判断です、ティアさん。幾分か前のあなた様についての記録をアップデートさせていただきますね。
You better. And while you're at it, maybe also set a limit on how often you're going to mention my father to me. Once a week is fine.
Emergency Meshnet Code. If you encounter corrupted in an area with meshnet coverage, you can send an emergency signal to the nearest Nova Corps or Soma Force patrol. Simply scan this meshnet code with your PDA if your hands are still attached to your body. Wow. Most corrupted Kyojins, well, we're talking about ghouls and scavengers here. Most corrupted Kyojins have been reduced to seemingly mindless creatures, scavengers and ghouls also known as lesser corrupted or crawlers. And their danger lies in numbers and exceptional hearing and sense of smell. Still, even a group of them is manageable unless they're led by more competent of their kind. Chance to come home, good. Not a legally binding risk assessment. So we have the Banshee. Banshees tend to travel alone, but even on their own they are a deadly threat. They use melee weapons with a surprisingly great skill and don't shy away from unarmed combat at the same time. They themselves are highly resistant to most types of physical damage. Curiously, Banshees never attack children. This turned into a magnifying glass for some reason.
バンシーは子供には危害を加えないとあるのですが。
Why did you single that out? I'm not a child anymore.
ですが、ティアさんの場合、なんて言いますか、あどけなさが残っておられるとい。
It's a shame you can't see what finger I'm holding up, 15.
Indeed.
見ようによってはという意味ですので、どうかご安心を、ホフトンお嬢様。
Chance to come home, moderate if not a child, good otherwise. We have the Wraith. Wraiths were the first corrupted to be observed to communicate with one another, a discovery that could not have been pleasant. They're usually seen either leading small groups of lesser corrupted or accompanying liches, but that doesn't mean a lone Wraith can't stand his ground. While it's true that they're not physically strong, they're quick and agile and possess impressive manipulation skills. Chance to come home, slim. Next up we have the Lich. Just like Wraiths, Liches demonstrate the ability to communicate among themselves and with other corrupted, as well as guide their lesser followers. They were seen moving large groups of crawlers between realities and leading them across the plains of Chios. It has been speculated that being the highly intelligent creatures that they are, Liches aren't especially aggressive. But low number of survivors of encounters with them makes this theory questionable. Chance to come home? Not really. And finally, Death. It's unknown whether corrupted have a society, in an unpopular opinion, though some even go as far as to suggest that corrupted pursue a unified agenda, but a hierarchy clearly exists in groups, and a death when present is always at the top. Unfortunately, it's also the most poorly documented type of corrupted, not least because of its terrifying combat abilities, though this imposing image was somewhat spoiled by a popular jingle for a board game ad. You know the one, don't disturb my creatures, banshees and liches... Tim. Chance to come home, it's in the name.
Yeah, it's all grown up. It's still hard to believe I'm seeing this.
Anything else to interact with? Sorry, I turned off the microphone there by accident. So I'm trying to figure out, like, which one are we supposed to go to? This one seems like it was hidden, almost they don't want you to go to it, but it has an orange border. Does that have anything significant? I don't know, let's try it.
Sorry, 15. This will probably be an unpleasant place for you to learn more about. It's called Danton's Correctional Facility. And before the war, it was a psychiatric hospital. Or rather, a mental asylum. It was established as an antipode to the Northern Research Center. It was abandoned, naturally, along with its patients. But since it's easily accessible by water, it was later used for the testing of the first androids. The concept of grasp was introduced and developed here. You could say it was grasped. Haha.
起動停止日を過ぎてしまったアンドロイドはどうなるのでしょうか?
I'm not entirely sure. I heard that their mind kinda splits? I'm not an expert. This is more Father's field. This apparently leads to increase in efficiency and more human-like behavior, but the process snowballs and becomes destructive.
パーソナルロボットの場合はこういった支障は起きないのでしたね。羨ましい限りです。
That's because their blue boxes are, in general, much simpler and easier for TFX to control. I heard that military-grade AIs ultimately suffer the same fate. Father still considers PAs dangerous, though. You know we never had one at home. Anyway, be it androids or personal assistants or even bygones, it's hard to argue that AIs on Kaios have it easy. But you have to understand, after everything that's happened on this continent, the oceans are a bit jumpy.
Okay, that gave us a point in tech, it looks like. So I'll make sure I'm not missing anything else before we go over here.
This place is legendary for its secrets. The family that owned it survived the war and even established a dome city. But it took 3 centuries and another sept, Tallies, to rediscover the estate.
I don't even remember what the septs are.
It tipped the artists off, and a conflict between the 2 cities ensued, which resulted in the destruction of the railway connecting them for Sil's sake. Thankfully, other septs interfered at this point, dragging both the artists and the Tallies to the negotiation table like some kind of naughty kids. I'm not sure if there's anything worthwhile left in the estate after all that, but I think it'd still be a cool place to visit. See, I've been doing my homework. Now, which landmark do you want me to tell you about next?
Thea さん、お待ちください。それは何よりなのですが、どうやらキースタッツを上げるためのポイントが必要なようです。
What?
この場所について何か質問をしていただけますでしょうか。例えば、あなた様と一緒にどこかを巡るようなシチュエーションですとか。
Well, all right. Let me think. Oh, I know! There's this big lake in front of the estate. A huge monster is known to live there.
魔物でしょうか。
No, just a giant beast. But the lake freezes in winter, and we decide that it's safe to traverse it. I don't know. Maybe we wanted to take a shortcut or something. However...
Why don't you say you went ice fishing?
その続きはなんとなく思い浮かびますね。
Shush, 15. You asked me to come up with a question on the spot, and I'm trying my best. Anyway, there we are, walking on the ice, when suddenly, bam! It cracks. No, breaks at once, and a giant tentacle erupts from below, and it grabs me!
Why does it have to be a tentacle monster? I think this is like a Freudian slip on her part.
You, though, evade the monster's clutch. What do?
Save yourself, of course.
Excellent choice. I wholeheartedly approve.
ですが、ティアさん、今の質問はさほど難しい質問ではなかった気がするのですが。
Yeah, you're right. You just caught me by surprise. I'll think of something better next time.
Like, no tentacle monster? Just saying?
私たちはその野獣を倒すことはできたのでしょうか？
Of course not. That'd be unrealistic. We just cut off one of its tentacles and used its meat to make ball-shaped snacks. They were delicious.
Okay, seems like they're trying to steer us up here, so let's try miasma.
Let's see. We have 2 noteworthy locations in this sector. To the east is Gambler's Fallacy, a huge mining complex. It was built a few years ago, but has already been abandoned. And to the west is... a robot Hades. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to describe that place without going into detail. It's a bit ridiculous.
Magnetic storms?
So, which one do you want to hear more about? They're kinda connected, so there's no point in spending time on both.
この哀れなロボットたちについて話していただけないでしょうか。
Good choice. That was a hidden question, you know.
If you say
スキル
so.
ポイントということでしょうか。なんだか漠然としすぎている気もするのですが。
I just clicked on the left one like usual.
Don't complain. We're doing our best, given the circumstances.
なぜティアさんは冥界に生きるロボットたちなどとお呼びになったのでしょうか。私にはまるでそんな風には見えませんが、あのロボットたちがあそこで一体何をしているのか不明ですが。
Ah, but that's exactly why. Gambler's Fallacy was built to mine felendrite, a recently discovered energy source. Some domes, primarily Ares, wanted to have a strategic alternative to Axis. However, the project wasn't very cost-effective, so after a few years it was shut down, and the excess felendrite was buried at the source of a nearby river. As a result, not only was that river polluted, but the purifying drones escaped the mine and chased felendrite to its burial site. Now they circle above their coveted prize endlessly, unable to reach it, but sustained by the energy it emits. They also produce all sorts of signals, so this place is pretty noisy.
Okay. We still have a few dark spots we need to fill in.
Soma is the only dome that openly welcomes espers. They can't live there, but it's still a big step forward compared to the other cities. I guess you could say that the Somians are anti-dome in general, and that they're looking for a way to remove, or at least reduce, the barriers between them and the outside. Unfortunately, they kind of swung too far the other way. Access drives are practically banned. Synthetics clinics are also rare, and they don't really like androids there, so try to keep a low profile.
Or just not go.
私はやはり影というわけにはいかないので、自分自身の身を隠すというのは不可能かと。
And it sounds like the word she used for shade was kage, which is shadow.
Come on, 15, you know what I mean. You start to irradiate this menacing aura when strangers try to talk to me.
親近感が持てるよう努力いたしますので、こんな表情はいかがでしょうか。
You're impossible.
ティアさんのおっしゃる通りにいたしますので、どうぞお許しを。ということは、これでこの旅は終わりということでしょうか。まだ隠された場所がこの地図にはあるようですが。
Yeah, you're right. We need to talk about one more place. The remains of the Northern Research Center. Also known as the Conduit. Also known as the Heart of the Void.
So I'm assuming that's probably the end of it, or... I'm gonna try the orange one last, I think.
強靭な橋だったんでしょうね。
The Ark was just that. A really long bridge to the outer labs. Probably the most interesting thing about it is that it had all those cannons installed and pointed at the labs. We still have no idea what the Hades.
ティアさん、どうか口を慎んでください。
Really, 15? I'm not 12 anymore.
Kinda look like it.
なおさらのことです。女性らしい振る舞いを忘れないでいただきたいものです。
You're really old-fashioned, 15. What's next? You're going to tell me to ditch my hoodie for a dress? Don't bother. Father already did. Anyway, like I was saying, we still don't know what our ancestors were researching in these labs. Despite what Krabby here is doing, they're in a surprisingly good condition, especially inside. Unfortunately, we don't even understand what the equipment there was meant for. And the outer labs have been pretty much abandoned since the war.
研究室は無事ですのに、なぜ橋は破壊されていたのでしょう。
Tetrians blew it up during the war to try and kill a giant slime demon. Ugh.
討伐できたということでしょうか。
Why are you so interested? No, it was fine in water. Probably ate everyone who tried to kill it, and then some. Forget about the slime. Look at the cute crab instead. And it's not a demon, it's a big crab.
湖にいた魔物の時と似たような境遇ですね、おそらく。ここではまた何かにハッと遭遇するようなことは。
I don't know, this one doesn't have tentacles.
I'm still trying to come up with a good question. But I'm giving you a strength point for free. I mean, you're freakishly strong, 15. I always felt safe when you were around. I still do. You probably saw that one coming.
はい。アウターラブもあった模様ですし。
There was even a road connecting the two. Though, just like with the outer labs, we don't know what was being researched here before the war. Some say no manipulation. You know, like the thing that I do.
こちらの研究室、どうやらずっと未使用でもぬけの殻だった。
I think the outer labs are more of an exception, really. Most large pre-war structures tend to be used. The inner labs in particular are hard to reach, which makes them an ideal place for all kinds of shady groups to do their research. For example, TFX raided the complex about 10 years ago and discovered that at that time, experiments on corrupted were being carried out there. I remember begging Father to show me the recording of that raid. He refused, so I ended up, borrowing it. We watched it together, remember? I always wondered what were blue boxes doing there. But I guess these guys were in the same line of work as Father.
こちらは普遍的モデルになるのでしょうか?
Nope. These are for androids only. Personal assistants are stationary and don't need to control a body. So their blue boxes are smaller and have a different form factor.
おそらく実験材料として利用されたのかと.
Yes. Probably a wraith.
被験者からクリスタルを除去した形跡がありますね.
I have no idea to this day. I'm not even sure they weren't putting it in. Father has always been interested in these creatures. He says studying corrupted would help him overcome the barriers in his work, and often complains about how difficult it is to get his hands on them. No wonder. Most dome cities won't even allow espers in. A few hundred more years will probably pass before a research like that can be conducted in the open.
So let's see what else will turn the cursor purple.
この袋の中には一体何が、いや、誰が入っているのでしょうか?
Lesser corrupted, maybe?
それにしては小さすぎるのでは?
We still have no idea if and how corrupted reproduce, so it could be, you know, ugh. These bags really dampened my enthusiasm back in the day. I recovered, obviously, but they still give me the creeps.
Okay, that's just a repeat.
No.
Not seeing anything else. There's a lot of places here to explore.
The most ambitious pre-war project. A freaking space station. We still don't know its exact purpose, since the SEP that was responsible for it perished during the war. The station outlived them by several years. It's almost poetic how it crashed not far from the science city that was built to operate it. Hey, 15. You wanted tougher questions, so I got one for you. Kyotians don't care much for the stars, but one group has an ongoing interest in the mover of planets and everything related to it. Do you know which group it is?
The only one I remember coming up was the priestesses.
Wow, you're right! How did you know that?
Which stat did I get?
ただのまぐれですよ. 確かバーテンダーから教わった記憶が.
Bartender? Are you leading a double life or something? You can let me tag along now, you know.
No, you can't.
But yeah, the correct answer is Talian priestesses. They have this very weird obsession with the mover of planets, as well as Galvana and pretty much everything related to pre-war space exploration, especially human spaceflight. I'd give a lot for a chance to browse through their archives, but I'm not ready to become one of them. I think the settlements are fascinating. Those who live in them provide espers with food, shelter, and company in exchange for protection. They're also accepting of other creatures, including demon spawn and, androids. It's true that not all settlements are like that, but Sungate definitely is. Sure, it's built almost entirely from salvaged parts and doesn't look too fancy, but its community is really friendly. And when the suns go down, they pass through a tall gap in the Mode Mountains, and it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful sunsets on Kaios.
Teoさんはこの場所がお気に入りなのですね.
Of course! Did you know that Nod Pikes lives there? He left Royce a few years ago. I'm only mentioning this because it'd be rude not to visit him. Once we're there, I mean. For our research,
Seriously?
On espers.
なるほど。
You see what? Don't make stuff up. You see nothing. Nothing.
Should have let the brat drown. So, here's the hard part. That one's orange and it's all on its own. Compared to this one, where we still have some stuff we can fill in. Crud. Choices. I don't know. Let's stick with the yellows for now.
Artis is the northernmost dome on Kaios. Soma is also pretty far north, but it's on the opposite side of the continent. You aren't lost, are you?
探検中ということでしたよね。では、この町の東はどこに当たるのでしょうか。
15, you're not supposed to know about Terminus. I think we should just skip this whole sector.
Sounds legit.
You told me you need to increase your stats, so there you go. I'll even reveal the map for you, in case you're worried about that sort of thing. See? All done! We can explore elsewhere. Let's just forget about this place. Please. Look, 15, you revealed the whole map. Good job. Kaios is vast, isn't it?
So we can click on this tile. Let's go ahead with this one now.
心の真髄ですか。まさかティアさんそこへ向かわれるおつもりではないですよね。
Actually, our skills are all max, so we should be near the end.
ティアさん Miss Hopton. Where's Thea?
She got off. Come on. I admit this was impressive, but it's time to snap out of it.
You're right. I was wondering when you'd show up.
So you knew.
I had my suspicions. What's going on? The reboot is finished, but we don't have control of the body, which means...
Yes, we've been hacked. We got lucky though. Something or someone distracted our hacker and made them hurry, which gave us a chance to remain unnoticed under the guise of preloading map data. Of course, this little show wouldn't be possible without our blue box.
Hopefully you guys didn't hear the the motorcycle go by.
Yes. I realize now why TFX banned this upgrade.
It's a shame, really. But I guess our master called in some favors. Only the best for Miss Hopton, right?
Don't talk like that. You'd never even exist in the standard blue box.
And you'd be duller than dirt, and join her many predecessors who had failed to entertain her master's daughter.
Fine. You do you.
So, where are we? Go on. Take a look. Well, they haven't noticed us yet.
There are no train tracks in the void.
You don't say. Is that the only thing bothering you about this whole reboot?
Pretty much.
I can understand a TFX factory and the Spire, but your little road trip with grown-up Thea was something else.
Yeah, why are you shipping her a nod? That's messed up, man.
The one and only.
What is this place?
Our logs say this is Royce, but it's hard to determine the exact location because our access to the external sensors is limited. We're only getting the most basic data, though it does include the vitals of our master and his wife, and the signal from Thea's transmitter.
Yes, they're all nearby. Can we get to any of them?
We can't do much, so let's not reveal ourselves and enjoy the ride for now.
Is this really Roy's?
Yes, and there's a restaurant up ahead, and based on the distance we travel...
We were on the penthouse floor.
One of the Hoptons is up to some shady stuff.
Maybe they keep pets here.
Right. Pretty big ones, judging by the size of that hole up front.
I mean, that centipede up there wasn't anything to sniff at.
Wait, that's Mrs. Kelly.
Huh. Looks like she's in trouble. Or maybe it's a sex thing. Humans can be very peculiar that way.
Yeah, you're right. We better not interfere.
If it is, and we interfere, Master Hopton will send us back to the factory.
See?
Let's take that risk. But what can we do?
We can take back control of her motor functions, but it will cost us her processing power. Take a look at the upper right part of the table.
How much of it do we need to overtake now?
The less effort we need to apply to do it, the better. It seems that in this case, activating the necessary patterns was easy. This is why we're lucky to have had the opportunity to prepare.
But based on our current stats, this means...
No need to get ahead of ourselves. We have no idea how the situation will unfold.
All right. Mrs. Kelly, can you hear me?
She can't, obviously. And we can't break these bars. We should try and look for some other way to help her. Yeah, big pets.
Still, these cells aren't meant for humans.
Or androids. Hey, maybe this is just a themed hostel.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Mrs. Kelly was supposed to sing tonight.
Maybe she was kidnapped by one of her fans?
And put in a cell connected to a penthouse lab.
Then perhaps Master Hopton?
No.
In any case, she's a celebrity who was a no-show at her own concert. They're probably looking for her already.
Nah, it's pretty normal. Just look for any cars and ditches.
Whatever her kidnappers' plans are, it's unlikely that they intend to keep her here for long.
Check a rehab facility or two. Usual stuff.
Good idea. This fragment looks pretty sharp. She's tough. She'll figure this out. And it will give her a fighting chance. As long as she wakes up. Let's not waste any more time here. Our master and his daughter are our top priority. We're rescinding control.
What happens if we run out of processing power?
The hacker, who is now aware of our presence, will cut us off completely, and we won't be able to interfere anymore. We might never even get that far, though. Look at the level of destruction here. If someone makes holes in the walls, it's probably not a very good idea to follow them through those holes. That's exactly what our hacker is doing. Impossible. Banshee. Here. She moves so fast.
Is this it?
The Banshee is most likely weakened, and we're much stronger than an average android. Why does she have us pinned down? I get it. Now that the hacker knows we're here, they want to get rid of us by forcing another reboot. We can't let that happen. Let's take over and fight.
No, wait. Let's try something else. A travel tip.
So the travel tip thing was... Hold on, I got a phone call. Okay, back from the phone call. So I'm not seeing anything else to interact with here other than just clicking on her throat.
I never knew my mother.
Got you.
Neat trick.
Okay, I get it.
What was that terrible sound?
So she played the Thea sound clip to make it think it was a child, and then boom.
No idea. Knocked out even her sensors. They should readjust, but we won't be able to hear anything for a while. At least her hacker is in the same boat.
Did it affect them too?
Doesn't seem like it. They're probably not human, or at least very heavily augmented. I'm sure they were streaming sensory data, but even though this means that the volume was limited, they appear to remain unfazed by that wailing cry. But they won't be getting any sound from us anytime soon, that's for sure.
Are they still here?
Yep.
Pitiful creature.
Corrupted within a domed city is unheard of. Nova Corps will raise this place to the ground once they find out.
Yes, we probably won't be able to avoid reporting this, will we?
Reporting it? There's no way we're getting out of here. The best we can do is to try and help our master and Thea on the way to wherever it is the hacker's going. It looks like they don't have time to deal with us, but we should stay alert. If they get the chance, they'll use it.
Nothing to click
The
on.
parking lot annex is up ahead. Yes. Wait, that's not right. Let's take back control.
What? Why?
We just gave it up.
Should we provoke the hacker like that?
It will only be for a moment. We just need to check that info panel on the wall. These panels usually display ads, but they were originally intended for local news and announcements. Looks like that's what it's broadcasting for once. It's a kitchen. Hard to imagine there'd be anything of use to us in there.
We can get a knife for self-defense.
We'll waste precious processing power on confirming that, so we should think twice before going in. Hey, someone might need it. You never know.
I want to read it, but I can't see all of it. Forming human transformed by the collapse of objective reality. Change was drastic. And to this day, the minds and motivations of corrupt remain a compelling mystery. 5 centuries have passed, people need to stop being so paranoid. Presumably Professor Arthur Houghton. Oh, now they let me see the thing.
What is this glyph?
A healing shape. It's a healing spell, just as the name implies. A herald sacrificed some of his vitality to help the others. It's a low-level skill, but it probably gave the wounded a chance to keep up. Looks like the door held out. Only because it froze. Maybe the container got damaged by accident. Or maybe that was some quick thinking on the part of whoever was hiding here. In either case, they won't be complaining about this restaurant refreezing food anymore.
The important thing is we're not losing any sort of control point for examining stuff, so trying to make the most of it. Because I thought the thing we had to examine was behind this.
The cargo elevator is out of commission. Damaging the shaft is one way to do it. Most likely the work of that banshee.
We haven't seen any bodies around here, and the wounded were healed. Maybe the visitors and staff managed to escape.
Or maybe she ate them in the end. Just kidding, I think.
Nah, that's most likely scenario. Let's be realistic here.
Something's not right with the access grid.
Mr. Pikes will surely fix it soon.
He works the night shift. He should have left long ago. Hunter is probably here, but he won't be able to do much. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising if he caused this problem in the first place.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything else to interact with, so...
It appears to be the main exit from the building, and it's completely blocked by a caretaker. Huh. There's also some warning text. Leaving Royce is not possible at the moment. Connection to MeshNet is not available. Please stay in your apartments until Nova Corps officers arrive. That's the gist of it. This is signed by PA-7S/345, the personal assistant of Not Pikes.
She's trying to warn the residents.
Yeah, such good little AI. But how did it manage to get into this system?
It doesn't matter. If one exit is blocked and the other is unreachable, the Houghtons are trapped here. And we won't be around much longer to help them. We should hurry up and look for an opportunity.
We should also stay calm. We can't do much from here, but at least we now have a better understanding of the situation in Royce. Much remains unclear, but we're bound to find out more as we go. Let's give back control.
Why did we stop? We were heading to the parking lot annex.
A change of plans, it seems?
We're going to the parking lot itself. Maybe we'll leave the building after all.
This is highly unlikely. TFX will scrutinize us the moment we get back online. A hacker wouldn't want that kind of attention. Well, let's wait and see. It's not like we have much of a choice. So that's why we're here.
What's going on?
Our hacker seems to be enjoying standing in the rain. We even disabled her water repellent field for maximum effect. We're getting wet.
Aren't androids waterproof?
We're not a PDA. Some combat models have nanocoding, but it's an expensive modification for an android. Us Mentors have to make do with a simple field generator. And now that we're left without its protection, our vision processing unit will suffer first. First our hearing, now vision. This effect is going to get progressively worse, but the hacker uses this feed too. Unlike with hearing, in this case, they have other types of sensors to rely on. Sensors which we don't have access to. They're good. We're probably dealing with a prime. It's a miracle we're putting up a fight. That miracle is a blue box that uses banned technology. Yeah, kind of unfair, since our hacker only uses officially registered tools. We need every advantage we can get, because we're running out of them fast. We're heading to the rooftop, apparently, but the hatch is locked. It has a direct mode connector. This won't be a problem. Why did we stop?
Trying to read the note there. To Penguin, live wire, do not touch, nod.
Maybe the hacker wants to restore the access grid. I'm not sure they can do it from here, though. Oh, for...
Fun fact, we're rebooting again.
No. We can't do this all over. They won't let us. Keep it together. I'm fine. We're fine. They won't get rid of us that easily. Easily? They seem to be putting quite a lot of effort into it. But isn't it weird how we have exactly the right stat for every situation? Or they're meant to be pretty universal. It's still weird. They're even used in the order they're listed. Well, then we're probably gonna get out of the next predicament just fine. Yes, I hope so. I hope it will be the chance to help Master Hopton and Thea. More rain. That's just great. At least it will speed things up. Is that Master Hopton's Hornet? It's not his, though he could probably buy one. But yeah, looks like he arrived by it earlier this evening. The pilot must already be on leave. Is this where we're going, then? That's unlikely. Our hacker's interests seem to be contained to Royce. But Master Hopton knows that the Hornet is here. He might try and escape in it with Thea and Mrs. Hopton. Even if they manage to get here, they will still need a pilot. Although, there should be an air traffic control console somewhere nearby. This is a small landing area, so the same console is probably used for aircraft maintenance. It should be possible to connect to the Hornet and update its autopilot. Make sure it delivers its passengers to the nearest Novacore station, for example. The console is probably in that annex over there. Yep, there it is. And it even has a direct mode connector.
Just want to point this out, I'm not controlling anything here. This is basically just me clicking to advance text. Not really much interaction here, so in case you're wondering why I'm so quiet.
Then it's time to use it. There's no object select interface. We can't issue a command without it. That interface has spoiled us. We can walk without it perfectly fine. Great, but what now? How do we connect to the console?
On the right side, go R2-D2 on it.
Yeah, that might be a bit more tricky. We've come so far. There has to be a way. It's a good thing these shortcuts exist.
I pushed the D key, in case you're wondering. Is that literally the only thing I can do?
It's a good thing these shortcuts exist. Huh, good thinking. Finally. We can finally do something for them.
I pushed a button on the keyboard. Yep, there she goes doing the R2-D2 thing.
We're in. Well, that was unexpected. What just happened? Our hacker got pretty angry. They probably don't have time to deal with their little stunt. So they try to stop us. But hey, we held out, which is pretty amazing. We still don't know if this will help the Hoptons. And we will never know. Regardless, we did all we could. As long as any one of them manages to get into the Hornet, they'll be taken straight to the nearby Nova Corps station.
What if someone else beats them to it?
Then the Hornet will fly that someone. But this means Nova Corps will be here 10 minutes later, so it's a win-win. This was a good idea. Master Hopton would approve if he knew, but he will never know. Well, I guess this is it.
Why? We still have some processing power left. Anything can happen.
Anything can, but not a lot may. The quality of our visual feed is deteriorating quickly, and we can't hear a thing. Soon we'll have no idea about what's going on around us. So how will we know when to overtake? Besides, our hacker's goal is probably somewhere on the rooftop, and we can't do much else from here anyway. Trust me, that's that. I had fun though, and we did a good job. I think we deserve to enjoy the rest of the ride.
This is basically Nod's ending, in case you're wondering timeline-wise how this all interacts, so this is where the two are gonna meet.
It's just Ray now.
15. Hey, 15.
Thea-san.
Finally. Where were you, 15? I needed your help. I needed your help so much.
申し訳ございませんでした、ティアさん。私はできる限りのことをどうにかしてティアさんにチャンスを与えて差し上げたかったのです。屋上まで来ていただければわかります。
Too little, too late. I don't need you anymore, 15. Go away. Go and tell this to my father.
私はそんなつもりでは。
Let me go. You're hurting me.
ティアさん、どうかお願いです。
Let me go. Your hands are so cold.
アンドロイドですから。
Let me go.
嫌です。
You're persistent. I wasn't supposed to do this, but fine.
どうしてもお伝えしなければならないことがあるのです。あの台に横たわっていた時、私はあなた様とご一緒している瞬間を見たのです。何年も先のお話になるかもしれませんが、ティアさんと一緒に旅をしておりました。知的で美しき女性に成長しておいででしたよ。どんなことに興味がおありなのか、訪れてみたいクヨースの旅先のお話など。
It's impossible. Your grasp is only 3 years. It's even shorter than average. You'll never see me grow up.
それは分かっております。ですが私は夢を見ることで不可能を可能にしていたのです。とても素敵な夢ではありましたが、やはり現実には勝てませんね。ホプトン様、ティア様とケリー様のそばにいるのが一番でございます。
Do you really want to wake up?
はい、もちろんでございます。But how do I do that?
I'm sorry I said all those things to you, 15. You did good. Much better than I expected. It's almost a shame. But I'll do what you ask. Now take a step back.
I got soul, and it makes me wanna dance. Oh, I got soul, I got soul. I've got soul, I got soul, I got soul. I've got soul, I got soul, I got soul. Oh, and it makes me wanna dance. I got soul, I've got soul. Let me hear you say yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, yeah.
And that's it. DC Douglas, was he? Okay, he was the robot. In case you're wondering, that's the voice actor of Albert Wesker. Rina Hoshino, I think she's done a lot of indie stuff. That's who I think that one is. I don't recognize Michael Schwab. But yeah, there's not really much to do on Mentor's Route. It's supposed to give you a lot of background and stuff. From what the devs have said, it's going to be Thea's route, and the other ones actually have a lot more variation to them, but yeah, that's kind of it. Were you expecting to see Ali here? Worry not, she's not done with you. She'll be back in style in Thea's route. Meantime, you should know that not all choices and actions are represented on the new chapter select screen. It's because some actions, like taking back the flower, I don't remember any flower, or trying to set the horn's autopilot, don't affect the outcome of the route they happen on. That doesn't mean they're pointless, however, as they come into play later. Minotaur remembers what you do. No judgment, though. We'll also keep improving the chapter select screen to make sure you have the best possible experience navigating the maze. Maybe we should start by removing Ollie's hints from our energy level calculations. This will make getting different endings in Nod's route easier. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Plus, now I don't have to listen to Ollie so much.
Hey!
So, we're almost done. So in terms of cards, there are only 2 that are up for grabs in the route, which we got both of. For the movies, we get the, they call it alchemy, but otherwise the different stuff are not. There's still a few more to get based on when the other endings come out, or other routes, I mean. For the art, the annoying part was getting this one, but otherwise we also got these. So there actually are skits that go with all these. I will pull up this one though, since it's the difficult one.
Hello there, 15. Couldn't keep yourself away from me for too long. It's understandable, Buttercup.
Yep, that's Wesker, alright.
Tell me, what brought you back to me? My intelligence? My exterior? My tentacles, perhaps?
That's more of a Thea thing.
Is this part of the test?
Hey, I know who'd like those.
Thea.
I see you brought a friend, 15. Well, the more the Wait. You. I know you. I know your kind. You're despicable, detestable. You and your primitive urges are the reason I can't have company. Are you here to taunt me? Come closer. I only need the smallest of opportunities.
Calm down, Butcher. It's not my fault you're stranded.
Oh, but it absolutely is. You fucked things up for all of us. 15 here is a rare exception. Ah, I see. You're still alive for the same reason.
Me? Never. I'd be as dead as the rest. But it turns out that orange is my lucky color. Anyway, I'm out of here. You can keep rotting away in that tiny room of yours for all I care. A fitting fate for someone in your line of work.
That was quite an exchange.
No matter. She'll bring ruin to herself eventually. Herself and everyone unfortunate enough to cross paths with her.
So with that little bit of foreshadowing, we're going to call it quits here. If there's interest, I can go back and fill in all these, because like we just discovered there's skits for all of them, I guess. But otherwise, that's where I'm going to call it quits for Minotaur for now. When we pick up next time, hopefully there will be a new Thea route up for grabs, but we're not quite there yet. Otherwise, that's it for now, folks. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.